Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from Bloomberg Politics written by Stephen T. Dennis that was published on August 23rd. Key Republicans give Trump a path to fire Sessions after the election. GOP Graham says President should wait until after the election. A new Attorney General could take control of the Mueller probe. Now I'm surprised they're actually reporting on this because to me they would probably want to keep this quiet. Although they can try to flip this to, say, get Democrats out, leftists out, and vote for Democrat candidates, but it could very well backfire on them. Because with conservatives, independents, libertarians, Republicans, basically everyone right of Karl Marx, finally seeing members of Congress say, yeah, if you want to fire Sessions, go right ahead, is going to probably have them more confident in the midterms and more driven on making sure Republicans stay in control so that this happens. That's what I see could be a possibility. Donald Trump, who's long threatened to fire Attorney General Jeff Sessions, may have received a crucial go-ahead signal from two Republican senators with a key condition attached. Wait until after the November elections. Which, personally, the fact that he's waited as long as he has way more fucking patience than I do. I would have fired Mueller and Sessions' asses a long time ago. And I would have had them investigated for things like possible being compromised with Sessions. Mueller, I'd have like Uranium One and all of his other Clinton involvements investigated and see how he likes it. And I'm not a vindictive person. Confronted with the criminal convictions this week of his former campaign chairman Paul Manafort and his former personal attorney Michael Cohen, the president has only reaffirmed his open resentment that Sessions recused himself from what's become a wide-ranging investigation led by special counsel Robert Mueller. Now, here's the thing. Paul Manafort was convicted on things not even related to the Russian investigation, proving, I would think, to any reasonable person, the Russian investigation is not about remotely one thing to do with Russia. Michael Cohen, the way it looks is they probably had him on some very serious shit. And they said, we'll give you a free pass on that if you say this. Say that, roll over on your client. And he sold out the president talking out of his ass and giving them this bullshit thing of, oh, well, he paid off those women. That's as the New York attorney there, what's his face said, a violation, it was a FEC violation, and it influenced the outcome of the election. But the thing is, it was one, out of his own pocket, two, that has a personal aspect to it, and three, that would be like saying that because he bought a particular car with money out of his own pocket, say he bought like a pickup truck and drove through the Rust Belt. Like, hey, I'm like you guys. Look, I drive a pickup truck. You would try to claim that would be an FEC violation by that logic, which it's not. It's the same type of situation. This is ridiculous. This shit should be like a non-issue. Hillary Clinton and all these fucking criminals, shitbags in the DNC and Democrat like members of Congress that have been involved in the Clinton criminality. All of them should be investigated right now. All of them should be facing charges right now. Which goes to show how fucking cancer-ridden this nation is becoming. When criminals like them can run investigations on innocent people and then use this bullshit thing of you get interviewed by the FBI, and if something is like a CH different, it's a criminal offense. That's bullshit. Because you change the wording just the slightest little bit, but the meaning's the same regardless. Pretty much for the most part. I mean, there could be one off-the-wall retard interpretation that maybe they could use, and they'll go for the retard interpretation just so they can nail someone. I mean, that should not be something they can do, because that's what led to the whole Manafort situation. That's what led to Flynn. The pivotal message on Thursday came from Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, who oscillates between criticizing many of the president's policies and defending a president who sometimes invites him to go golfing at a Trump-branded resort. Like that's an influence to it. No, basically what's going on with that neocon, Lindsey Graham, that establishment Republican, is the fact that he goes with or against the president depending on where he lies on the particular issue. Yeah, you're trying to make it sound like because he's gone golfing with Trump at a Trump-branded resort, that's the reason. This is completely dishonest. The president's, sorry, you're talking proper noun. I hate these shitbags. The 8 years Obama was president, all the presidents prior, when president's being used as a proper noun, they capitalized it. With Trump in office, they don't. It's so freaking annoying. These people, it's proper English. They literally use the written word as a major and key aspect to their job, yet they can't grasp to get over their Trump derangement, never Trump bullshit, and actually do the same thing they did for Obama and every president prior. Capitalized presidents, proper noun. And I'm sorry for going on this rant, but this really pisses me off because it's their little defiant disrespect bullshit. Not my president. No, your president. The president's entitled to an attorney general he has faith in, somebody that's qualified for the job, and I think there will come a time, sooner rather than later, where it will be time to have a new face and fresh voice at the Department of Justice, Graham told reporters. Well, yeah, because he's getting sick of the Sessions bullshit. It's ridiculous. Sessions won't even do what he's told. He keeps trying, for example, to ramp up the drug war, go after dispensaries, growers and the like, with the now quasi-legal cannabis, industry, the cannabis pot industry, pot industry here in the U.S. And Trump has to keep rolling them back. But when Trump tells him to do something that he should be doing with his job, he sits on his ass with his thumb between his, his fist between his cheeks and his thumb up his asshole. Havoc possible. But he added that forcing out Sessions before November would create havoc, with efforts to confirm Trump's Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh, as well as with the midterm elections on November 6th, that will determine whether Republicans keep control of Congress. Now here's the thing. Unimportant votes, like say, some stupid thing like changing the name on something. You don't need to do that right now. This is more important. Deal with this shit. Kick Sessions out, fire his ass, get someone in there who's actually going to do the goddamn job, who's actually going to, listen to their boss, and freaking fire Mueller, start an investigation into the Clintons. Let's get her ass locked up. Let's watch the rats and the cockroaches scurry as the lights get turned on. Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa, the Judiciary Committee's chairman, also changed his position on Thursday, saying in an interview that he'd be able to make time for hearings for a new attorney general after saying in the past that the panel was too busy to tackle that explosive possibility. It wasn't clear, though, whether the senator's comments were intended to endorse a move on Sessions later or to coax Trump out to taking precipitous action now. And some senior Republican senators strongly rejected Graham's seemingly impromptu fire him later idea. Yeah, the never-Trumpers, the establishment neocons, the Bushites, of course. Those types, they're going to speak out against it. Sessions, who represented Alabama in the Senate for 20 years and was an early backer of Trump, defended his performance in a statement on Thursday. And this is what's fucked up. He backs Trump early. He's pretty gung-ho, and now he doesn't follow through with, like, you know, yeah, I'll be a good attorney general for you. It's almost as if he's compromised. It's like they have something on him. I mean, it seems that way. We have an unprecedented success at effectuating the president's agenda, Sessions said, adding, while I'm Attorney General, the actions of the Department of Justice will not be improperly influenced by political considerations. They haven't been influenced by proper political considerations. Never mind improper. You won't do your fucking job when he tells you to do your fucking job. Yet you're going to talk like that? Blow it out your ass, Sessions. 2 federal investigations are drawing closer to the president. Mueller's probe, which extends to whether anyone close to Trump conspired with Russia to interfere in the 2016 election and whether Trump sought to obstruct justice, has been newly energized by Manafort's conviction. Bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Convictions for tax evasion, like he's fucking Al Capone, while giving a Podesta brother, who was involved in the same criminality, a free fucking pass with immunity, does not do remotely what you're claiming. It does not energize that. It makes you look even more petty. It makes you look even more pathetic. It gets us more sick and tired of this, and it's waking up people, because the only people who are looking at that as energizing it are these brainwashed, dumbed down, Karl Marx loving, or socialism loving, but don't know that they love Karl Marx in the process. Left, far left, never Trump, Hillary Clinton dick suckers, Bernie bros, Green Party fucking rejects, and the like. They're the only ones that think that this has energized things. Let's be honest. And the president may face a separate investigation sparked by the guilty plea of Cohen, his longtime fixer, who said under oath in federal court that Trump directed him to make hush payments to 2 women in violation of federal campaign law. This is complete bullshit. This right here is libel. Because as a former FEC chairman said, plenty of attorneys have said, Levine, the guy that's on CRTV and does a weekend show on Fox, Trump paying out of his own pocket for NDAs for these women to keep their mouths shut about sexual indiscretions is not in violation of federal campaign law. When you have an FEC fucking chairman come out and say that, you're fucked. You're lying sacks of shit. This is ridiculous. This is such ridiculous shit. Bloomberg will flat out fucking lie. And here's the thing. There could not be a criminal investigation sparked by this against the president, because a sitting president cannot be fucking indicted. They have to be impeached and then removed from office. Once they are removed from office, then they can be criminally charged. It's that simple. So you got to get the impeachment first. Then you can have your investigation. But you see, there's nothing to impeach him on, and there's nothing to investigate. So why don't you all just go finally sit and spin? Deal with it. It used to be when the other side lost, They huffed and moaned for a little bit. They didn't go friggin' Trump deranged psychotic like all you idiots did, and now have done for almost 2 years. Seriously. You know, you talk about civility, and you wanted us to be all civil, the people who were Trump supporters, who didn't want Hillary. You wanted everyone who didn't want Hillary to be civil about this. We would have been. But you wastes of space can't do what you want others to do. You are pathetic, vile, infantile. Parents should have raised you to become adults instead of allowing you to remain mentally retarded children. And just get over your shit already. I put in an attorney general that never took control of the Justice Department. Jeff Sessions. Trump said in an interview with Fox that aired on Thursday, and it's sort of an incredible thing. Sessions' inability to control the department was regrettable, Trump added, and he's, dead on. He is dead on about that. He is so dead on. Sessions has just sat there with his thumb up his ass. And I love how they got to throw this in. The felons in Trump's orbit. Okay, Paul Manafort. Busted by giving a Podesta a Hillary fucking shill immunity. On tax and bank fraud. Michael Cohen. He pled out to this shit, and it looks like they said, hey, if you say this, we'll ignore all this real serious shit over here. Rick Gates pled out with the Paul Manafort thing. Which this whole thing of to making a false statement and conspiracy against the U.S. This is that FBI thing I was talking about. Alright, there's this whole thing of the idea of you shouldn't be compelled to incriminate yourself, hence the, I plead the fifth. But yeah, you're compelled to testify to the FBI. That makes absolutely no sense. You're not compelled to talk to the police. You can tell them to go fuck themselves. You just keep your goddamn mouth shut, and they can sit there and ask you any question you want. And as long as you keep your mouth shut, they get nothing. But the FBI, you're compulsorily told you have to answer. That's how Rick Gates got fucked. Micheal Flynn, FBI bullshit. George Papadopoulos, same thing. So you've got all these people who, through the compulsory incrimination with the FBI, because I'll call it that. It's compulsory incrimination. You say something to the FBI, they go and they check it out, and it doesn't exactly line up because, memories fade, perceptions are different. Boom. You've just committed a fucking crime. That's what those people got busted on. But they honestly think that this backs their shit. It doesn't. Any talk of firing Sessions 71 was rejected by John Cohen of Texas, the number 2 Senate Republican, who said doing so would be bad for the country, it would be bad for the president, it would be bad for the Department of Justice, for him to be forced out under these circumstances. Bullshit. Right now it would be a damn good thing. Not a wise move. Senator Susan Collins, a Republican moderate from Maine, said firing Sessions would not be a wise move, and I don't see the president being able to get someone else confirmed as Attorney General were he to fire Jeff Sessions. So you go to a never Trump bitch. You go for that Maine never Trump bitch. Okay. That really backs your shit there. Yeah, let's go with someone who completely hates Trump. Because those are the only people, never Trumpers and establishment neocons that are going to go against this shit. Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina, a Republican member of the Judiciary Committee, said he hopes Trump keeps Sessions, saying he has full confidence in the Attorney General. Senator Ben Sass of Nebraska, a frequent Trump critic among Republicans, said on the Senate floor that he'd heard goofy talk about firing Sessions, but I find it really difficult to envision any circumstances where I would vote to confirm a successor to Jeff Sessions if he is fired because he's executing his job rather than choosing to act as a partisan hack. No, he's not doing his fucking job. When you let when you let a subordinate like fucking Mueller, fucking dipshit, when you let him run roughshod all over you and you look weak and you look pathetic, you're not doing your goddamn job. And that's exactly what Sessions has done. But you see, these are all establishment, neocon hacks. They're rhinos and the such. Very weak. Trump often takes aims at Sessions over the Russian investigation, including saying on Twitter that Attorney General Jeff Sessions should stop this rigged witch hunt right now, and calling his own appointee very weak, beleaguered, and a disappointment. See, this is what's funny. So they take, and as I always say in my videos, taking something out of context, because that's not the full tweet. And they only take in the quotes the very weak, and then they say that he said beleaguered and a disappointment. Where did he say that? You're saying he said that. Where's your proof? So the thing is, he's right for calling out Sessions. This is the problem with these establishment hacks and the deep state and the neocons and your typical Democrats who are in bed with them. Because they push the ideology shit, but when they're not on the floor and they're not in public spotlight, they're all buddy-buddy. But the thing is, here's Trump. He gets around all of you. He says stuff that the public can see, and you don't like that. Because you're pushing this bullshit narrative of Russia, 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 and everything else, and he's calling it what it is, a witch hunt. And that scares you, because the more, even with the shadow banning and everything else that's happening to him on Twitter, his message still gets out there. And you're kind of helping it by doing this. Graham urged Trump on Thursday to pardon neither Manafort, a possibility the president has acknowledged, nor Cohen. I wouldn't, after what Cohen's done, I would not pardon his ass. I'd let him hang. If there's a pardon of either one of them, it will be seen as self-serving, and it will create a political problem for the president, he said. I don't know what Manafort's done to earn a pardon. He hasn't even been sentenced yet. Well, he got wound up in this witch hunt. There really wasn't, without a reasonable doubt, or with a reasonable doubt, enough evidence to actually get a conviction. There really wasn't. You had the fact of, and it got to the jurors, that you had CNN and others looking to get their personal information so that they could dox them and allow for Antifa shitbags to influence them. They didn't even need to get the names and information. You know that scared the ever-loving shit out of the jurors. And you know that was a factor in their convicting Manafort, because they didn't want their lives ruined. They didn't want Antifa showing up at their house, 30 of them deep, looking to kill them. Perceived or real. The president asked his lawyers about the possibility of pardoning Mueller several weeks ago. What? No, you mean Manafort. Wow, proofread your shit. The president asked his lawyers about the possibility of pardoning, it says Mueller, but they meant Manafort several weeks ago. Trump's attorney Rudy Giuliani told the Washington Post on Thursday. Giuliani said they recommended he wait at least until Mueller concludes his investigation. Wow, this is Bloomberg, and they can't even proofread their fucking shit. Graham's comments about Sessions could be sending a message that Mueller's faces a de facto deadline to wrap up his Russia investigation before November's election. It should have been wrapped up. We're like almost 2 years here. Should have been wrapped up a long fucking time ago. If Trump replaces Sessions, who's far resisted the president's very public hints that he should resign, a new attorney general could take over the investigation and potentially fire Mueller or cripple the probe. Good. very fucking good. Which is, you see, Sessions at this point should resign or get canned. Give him the choice. Leave gracefully or be a fucking dipshit moron and get smacked around as you're, getting thrown out of your office. We'll treat it like Casino with those two guys that were cheating at the tables. The one with, no, that's not the scene I'm thinking of. I'm sorry. The guy with the, his feet up on the table, that's the one I was thinking of. I'm sorry. Where they use his head to open the door, grab Sessions from either side by the arms. Dude grabs his legs and they open all the doors with his head. I'd have no problems with that. And I'm talking metaphorically here. I don't want someone to say, oh, he's calling for the incitement of violence. Interim choice. Trump would need to wait until his new choice for Attorney General was confirmed by the Senate, which would be a difficult fight. Not really. The Republicans control the Senate. I don't see how hard it would be. The never-Trumpers would have to fall in line because the American people would be like, what the fuck? They'd be like, you're Republicans. You're supposed to represent me. Fuck you. Quit siding with the Democrats. And it would completely fuck them in the next election if they did pull the shit that they want to pull. Because it would wake up a lot of their supposed constituents, because if they were actual constituents, these people in Congress would represent them. It would show to them that they're full of shit, that they don't represent them. And they'll vote someone in who does. I mean, this is ridiculous. This really is like the type of shit that they're trying to push here. He could install an interim attorney general directly after ousting Sessions, although some legal experts argue that the powers of such an appointee would be limited. Bullshit. These are like the never Trump, neocon, establishment. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the Obama era attorney from the last time that said that he could be criminally charged and is full of shit. Asked about a possible replacement for Sessions, Grassley took a different position from a year ago when he warned the White House that he didn't have time to do another confirmation hearing that year. I do have time for hearings on nominees that the president might send up here that I didn't have last year, Grassley said Thursday. Grassley has clashed with Sessions this year because of the Attorney General's intense opposition to Grassley's efforts to pass criminal justice overhaul. Well, yeah, he's an see, Sessions is another establishment Republican hack. He's one of those Southern Authority Republicans that feeds the war on drugs and the for-profit prison system that the Clintons helped basically create. He doesn't want the reform because the reform fucks that all up. Grassley said, though, that Kavanaugh's confirmation would take precedence over other nominees Trump might send to the Senate. So let's and I mean this in a good way. Let's railroad Kavanaugh through, get him on the Supreme Court so we have another fucking conservative, and then we'll move on to Sessions. It's that simple. They're not taking a break. Put like bills and shit aside and let's get the confirmations going. Grassley declined to comment specifically on the fate of Sessions when asked about Graham's predictions the president will replace him after the election. Well, I honestly think he should replace him before the election. Wouldn't hurt him. Because if he replaced him before the election, CNN, MSNBC, the rest of the legacy media like the Washington Shitpost, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, all of them. All the Boston Globe, we can't leave them out. And everyone else that's involved in the legacy media that pushes lies and propaganda and bullshit. They would completely spurg out. They would lose their shit. they would expose themselves. They would tip their hand. The Democrats, as part of this, would do the same exact thing. The left in general would do that. Silicon Valley would go off the deep end and increase the censorship and the shadow banning and the deplatforming. All of it. And maybe, just maybe, all the normies would wake up to what's really going on. Because you now see a lot of the normies in the Democrat Party with the walk away movement waking up. If he was to go and do this, I'm telling you, there would be so many people waking up. It would hurt them. This is why they want them to wait until after the election. Besides the fact that they're hoping the Democrats will shift power in the Senate and the House. I think on some level they actually do realize that the spurging out they would do if he fired Sessions would seriously compromise them on the note of appearances. I mean, this is just my opinion after all, but it just seems that way. And my gut's telling me that's what would happen. Anyway, I've covered this well enough, and I'm just going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.